Hey, and welcome back to That Fiction Life. Today we are here to celebrate the release of Red Schools of Magic, which comes out in 3 days, which is so soon. And since a lot of people are anticipating this book, I thought what better way to celebrate that than to do a whole entire Shadowhunters themed video. So I thought that I would merge my two obsessions and have a little bit of fun sorting the Shadowhunters characters into Hogwarts houses. So this video will be spoiler free in terms of plot points, but since I will be talking about character personalities, if you don't want to know anything about them at all, then obviously don't watch this video. So I made this totally unprofessional list on paper. Some of them are empty, so I'm going to have to make a quick decision on the spot. Just before I start, actually, please do comment below whether you agree with me, or if you don't, what house you would put each character in, because this was the biggest struggle for me. So my first person on the list is Will Herondale, who is my favourite in all of the land, and this seems a little bit controversial, I guess, and I promise you I'm not just saying this to get him onto my side, but Will Herondale is going into Slytherin. He's very cunning in his ways of doing everything. He's also very ambitious. Like, if you look at the lengths he went through to kind of quarrel with Gabriel and Gideon, I mean, where I waver a little bit with Will is that he is so hungry for attention. He is a little bit of a drama queen, which really goes with Gryffindor, but ultimately he is just definitely a little bit of a snake, and so I'm keeping him for my house. Tessa, who is my favourite female character. I was kind of going in between all of the houses, but in the end I settled on Ravenclaw. I feel like she would be very good friends with Luna for some reason. The thing that is a misconception about the Hogwarts houses is that for Ravenclaw you have to be book smart, which is truly not the case, and the reason I feel Tessa fits into Ravenclaw is she is very much a shadow hunter and is very capable physically when fighting demons and everything, but she's also has a lot of wit about her, and that's something I really love about her character. Then we have Jem, who is the most Hufflepuff of all Hufflepuffs. He is the most loyal character in that whole series, and Jem really yearns for justice as well. I think that's very important to him as a shadow hunter. And then, especially in his other profession, I'm trying to be so vague about these things. Clary is a squib. I'm not the biggest Clary fan. Jace is a Gryffindor because he is one of those people that will just run into danger with absolutely no thought process, which I guess Clary also does, but she does it in an annoying way. Next, I have Isabel Lightwood. I really affiliate her with Ravenclaw for some reason. She's always come across as wanting to know everything. She's always researching and all of that. The next person is Simon, who is definitely a Hufflepuff. He is so loyal to Clary. I love the close bond that they have, and I feel like he makes such an incredible friend because of the qualities that he has. Now I have an empty one coming up, and it's Magnus. On the face of it, I feel like he could be a Ravenclaw. It's that whole wisdomous, immortal person who has lived through everything, and he's so clever and smart. I don't see him as Hufflepuff because even though I feel like he is very loyal, he is very selectively loyal, which is why I think he could be in Slytherin, because Slytherins are very loyal to the people that they love, and I feel like that's the same kind of thing with Magnus. As soon as he started to have feelings for Alec, he immediately cared more about all of the Shadowhunters in the New York Institute. The same thing with Will back in the 1800s. So I'm really torn between Slytherin and Ravenclaw, but I think I'm gonna have to go for Slytherin ultimately because of the whole loyalty thing. But do let me know what you think of Magnus, because I think this is the hardest one out of all the characters. Next we have Alec, who is the most Gryffindor out of all the Gryffindors. Kind of like Jem with Hufflepuff, they kind of perfectly fit into that house. I can imagine Alec being the most jockiest jock on the Quidditch pitch, just shooting his arrows on the pitch because he's not just gonna fly a broom because he's just too iconic for that. Raphael is another one that I have put without a house because it's also a really hard one. So I guess it falls between Hufflepuff and Slytherin, which are very similar when it comes to personality traits, so I'm having a very hard time. He did do some questionable cunning things which would make him go into Slytherin, and he did really help Simon when he was going through his troubles. I kind of want to put him in Hufflepuff. Next we have Emma. Emma is such a Gryffindor Slytherin hybrid. She's very brave, the same kind of running into danger, but I also think she would be a very good Slytherin. I feel like sometimes she's a bit 50-50 on the morality scale, which is where her personality really matches with Julian, particularly in Queen of Air and Darkness, because Julian did some stuff. I do have a whole entire reading vlog of Queen of Air and Darkness, so if you want to hear me talk about that particular section of Julian being completely morally ambiguous, then I will link it down below for you. So Emma has a lot of nerve, which I feel is her most prominent Gryffindor trait. So for Emma, I think I'm going to go with Gryffindor, ultimately. So with Julian, he's very 50-50 between Slytherin and Hufflepuff, and because I feel like he's so overly loyal to his family, he would lean more towards Slytherin, but at the same time he does want justice for the whole world and he's working so hard to get all the wizards, I was just gonna say, to get all the Shadowhunters to believe in his cause rather than the government's. And he's such a hard worker because if you look at what he did in Lady Midnight, he was pretty much running the Institute all by himself without taking any credit for it, really. So I think ultimately Julian is a Hufflepuff. Sebastian, I absolutely have to put into Slytherin, and it has nothing to do with him being a villain, because a lot of the time when people do these tags, I feel as though they just straight away put all the evil characters into Slytherin, which is just really not true, because not every villain is cunning and resourceful. However, Sebastian, I feel, is the most resourceful Shadowhunter. The way he dealt with everything in City of Heavenly Fire and City of Lost Souls as well. I don't want to go into too much detail again because I really don't want to spoil you, but the whole situation that he had with Jace when they went on their little field trip, you had the whole Clary situation, and I feel like he used everything to his advantage to further his cause. Now I really want to sort Kieran, and Kieran, I feel like, okay, Kieran is a Slytherin. Now let me tell you why. I promise I'm not trying to steal all my favourite characters to my house, but he is a born leader, and if you have read The Dark Artifices, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because at first you might not see him fit for a leadership role. However, he really comes into his own in Queen of Air and Darkness, and I feel like we see a side of him that no one really expected. He's very overprotective of the people he has closest to him. Okay, so Ty is definitely a Ravenclaw. His creativity, his whole wish to become a detective all fit perfectly into Ravenclaw. Christina is a really hard one because I feel like she can be all of the houses. She's very keen for justice too. I feel like that's a really prominent trait in a lot of Shadowhunters, but her whole situation in Queen of Air and Darkness, particularly with the injustice with all of the Downworlders and Shadowhunters from her culture, I feel like really bring out the Hufflepuff in her. So those are all the characters I'm going to sort, because there are so many people in this whole Shadowhunter universe that we would be here all day. So I've kind of tried to do the most prominent characters and then some of my favourites. So make sure to comment some of your choices and let me know which ones you don't agree with in particular, because I'd love to be persuaded. Don't forget to check out Red Scrolls of Magic. If you're a Alec fan, trust me, this book is definitely for you. It is set during their Paris holiday, which, if I remember correctly, was in between City of Glass and City of Fallen Angels-ish. So we do have to go back in time a little bit and we kind of see their relationships when it was still fresh. Everything gets uprooted and they do not get the holiday that they wanted because Magnus is accused of being this cult leader. And I'm having so much fun reading this because this was definitely one of my most anticipated books of the whole year. So to have it in my possession, I am so grateful. So I'll pop some links down below if you'd like to check it out. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Have an amazing day and I will see you next time. Bye!